My bad. You got that.
What's up, Oilers? Welcome to a very special look at the 23-24 yearbook. I'm here with
Maria, this year's editor.
Isaac, this year's creative director.
Johnny, this year's sports section leader.
So Maria, give us a little bit of background about this year's book, the theme, the name.
So this year's book is called Fotos y Recuerdos, which translates to Photos and Memories. We came up with this theme as a class, to be honest. It was a collective effort. Johnny, do you want to?
Yeah, originally we had one chosen, which was Go Your Own Way.
Go Your Own Way.
Yeah, but then after class deliberation, we changed it to Fotos y Recuerdos because we feel like what you really want to see from a yearbook is pictures of you and the memories that it brings. So yeah.
Having a yearbook title be in Spanish was a big thing for us. You know, our student body is like 99% Hispanic, so it was really cool to even attempt to make a yearbook with that name. So yeah.
So this year you guys introduced a lot of new aspects to your book, whether it be all these Ox or the ads. So walk us through how you guys came up with those and what was the creative process behind that?
Well, for all these Ox, really Escobar just saw a video of someone asking someone else what song they're listening to. He's like, hey, this would look good, like cool. And he brought it up to me and Kevin. We're like, yeah, we'd love to do that. So now it just becomes a weekly show, and the intros are really fun to do. It's fun making random stupid ones where we're just dancing and stuff.
Yeah, and I think for ads, it was more of a, there's a girl named Ashley in yearbook who's also in YCP.
Yeah, she definitely changed the game when it came to editing. I mean, last year I think we had made one ad because I think everything kind of sparks from these like funny ideas that we have. And then, yeah, last year Ben's sister, another yearbook member's sister, had the ability to, she went to film school. And so he was like, oh yeah, I can ask her to shoot it for us. And then they ended up shooting it within like a 0 period. Yeah, and that was the first, I think that was the first like ad, which was the American Psycho one, like the Patrick Bateman inspired one. And then since then, you and Ashley have like rolled the ball incredibly. So yeah.
So from all the ads, have you had one that like took the most effort to make?
I think we should be asking you that question.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, Diego is like a crucial member of yearbook right now. He's like him and Ashley are like the idea thinkers when it comes to the ads. You earned that creative director role.
The Christopher Nolan of yearbook.
No, literally. You're the Oppenheimer.
The hardest one to pull off logistically was probably the Mean Girls one, because that's the one where we were shooting on multiple locations. We had the most actors that we ever used, and everyone had a crucial role to play. And we were under a lot of...
I think a lot of us work overtime. I mean, Maria's definitely like an editor, you know, like when it comes to the Yearbook Avenue, which is the program that we use, she's definitely probably the one that can pull up the most tools and everything. But then when it came to like me and Sophia and you, when it came to photos, that was probably a lot. I mean, I like taking photos. I like editing more now. But when it came to football season, I was there like every game taking photos. And
maybe just on like the Yearbook Avenue aspect, like 400 hours easily.
Yeah.
Not including when
editing and stuff
when
like that.
We send people out to take photos, including myself. Because I've spent, I mean, you know, before it was like I didn't really know how to edit, and so it was like I was going every photo one by one, like nitpicking at every single one. Now I know how to edit in batches and like keep things as consistent as they can. But I mean, I can easily spend like 4 or 5 hours editing for one gallery.
What was the craziest thing you had to do this year? Like something completely out of the box for the book?
So I think it was the Polaroids. Yeah, this year it was definitely hard to do something original with the whole Polaroid idea. It's been done in the past, and one of Escobar's rules when it comes to yearbook is you can't do something that's been done within the last like 4 to 5 years, just so it doesn't become repetitive. And we finally did it, and we bought the Instax Wide, and yeah, it's been like amazing to use because it's this like one-of-one real piece of time. And I think people understand that, you know, because as many prints as we can make and as many photos that we don't use in the yearbook but we produce later on, I think a lot of people don't like grasp the concept of like once we delete this photo it's gone forever. And with the Polaroids, people definitely understood that, so it was cool.
Yeah, and it's fun to really experiment with the camera and what kind of pictures you take. Like, I love taking it to sporting events and taking like motion pictures because like not a lot of people can say they have a Polaroid of them like scoring a goal, or, like shooting a basket. Like that's really it's pretty cool.
I would say that and the fact that the theme is something that's like I wouldn't say done before in any high school was hard. Like coming up with how to make it look the way that we envisioned it.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's this like, not how do we make the yearbook serious, but how does it not look like, like Pixar-esque, which is true because if you look, I mean, we have so much inspiration. Espoir has like over 100 years, I think, worth of yearbooks that we can look at. And so seeing all of the like good designs, the bad designs, probably the hardest,
What's something that people wouldn't guess goes into being a yearbook member? Like that would surprise someone?
I feel like people tend to overlook the fact that the first day of school when we log on to Yearbook Avenue to like make our pages, everything's blank. Like it's really starting from zero. And it's it's definitely like a lot of work that people might not anticipate or stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot more work just in general that people might not understand. I think another thing is like it's really fun, I think.
Yeah.
Like as much as like people are trying to get stuff done, there's like some zero periods where Escobar will see that like we're all just essentially hanging out and like 7 a.m. he'll just let us talk, like and then the next day maybe he'll say something that's like, okay, get back to work. But yeah, I think I mean I've only been in it 2 years. I think Johnny, it's his first year, but I don't think there's anybody in your book that like doesn't have somebody that they can connect with, which I think is kind of rare for like some of the like classes and stuff. It's the one class that like I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna walk in and laugh for sure.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I hate that I'm here, which is cool.
It's low-key just an hour to like get settled into school.
That's
because
true.
like it gets you warmed up and like I'm weirdly energetic at like 7:45 in the morning.
That's really true.
So your book is very famously headquartered in S3. Like, what's your favorite part about the Esco Cave?
Me personally, it's the kitchen.
Yeah. People have no clue. Like we have 2 microwaves, an air fryer, and a toaster.
Yeah.
And
a mini fridge.
And a mini fridge and this like noodle maker thing I think we have back there. Yeah, definitely. Like we could probably cook whatever we want back there.
Yeah. Upstairs is pretty cool too. It's haunted though. Like it's scary.
No, literally. You'll be
like,
standing up there and the light will turn off.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what mine is. I think my favorite is probably the archive. The archive's pretty cool. I think like the whole area where all the yearbooks are is like it's always quiet in there. Like it's probably the one place in yearbook where you could go and like people will be like, where the hell they go? And yeah, they'll be in there. Somebody will be in there.
So this year, Yearbook has definitely branched out into being more of a school spirit organization and being involved in events and stuff. Famously, Fright Fest. How did you guys make the decision to move into being more part of the school spirit and less of just like we put out a product?
I feel like a big part of it is that our leadership team is very creative and outgoing and not afraid to throw ideas out there because I think most of us have known Escobar for like a couple years, so it wasn't like an entirely new team of people.
Well, I mean, I think it's just the type of people that are in yearbook. No one's like really shy. So we're all like, oh, instead of just like making a book, let's do something for Halloween. Because really all these Fright Fest was Kevin's idea, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think there was definitely like a conversation that we had with Escobar last year, me and Maria, where I started posting photos and like I saw how many people liked them. And it was like, there was kind of this rule in yearbook last year that was like, save the good photos for the yearbook. And now I think we're like complete opposite. And now it's like, if it's a good photo, post it so that people want to buy the yearbook to begin with. Because I think something that like I really realized is like how many people didn't buy the yearbook, maybe because of like money, because it's such an expensive item. You can't just like ask your parents for $100 or whatever the cost is. And so that was like the big conversation that I remember having with Escobar. That was like, how do we make this as cheap as we can? And if we can't make it cheaper because of our limitations, like how do we include others that can't either afford it or just like have that struggle to come up with the ability to buy it. So
one thing you see about yearbook that other clubs don't really have is that yearbook is very much a community. What do you think makes yearbook unique to the point where it becomes a community for its members, whereas like other clubs don't really have that?
Before I stepped up to the role of editor over the summer, I talked with Escobar and I told him that one of the things that I wanted to focus on that I felt we lacked the previous school year was that we knew each other, but I still felt like we were a little bit separated by sections. Like, for example, I used to be in the student life section, and I felt like I didn't really know the people in, like, sports or academics or whatever. So I, like, talked to him, and I was like, I would like if we could have more, like, after school events for us and, like, places to, like, hang out and get to know each other as people and not just as coworkers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, last year, not to talk too much about last year, but it was definitely like a different vibe in your book. And I think we did a good job this year, like trying to include everybody, leaving things into like, okay, let's just forget about the yearbook and kind of just have fun. We did that this year with like Weenie Fest. We had our first Weenie Fest, which was like literally Escobar going to Slater Bros and getting like 100 hot dogs. And we just had hot dogs and played Pictionary. And yeah, we want to do more stuff like that. We also do our Friendsgiving every year. So that's pretty cool. Is it Friendsgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we do
White
Friendsgiving
Elephant, no.
and White
It's
Secret Santa.
Secret Santa, yeah.
Yeah, and so the Secret Santa is pretty cool because now it's like you kind of have to know somebody to get them that gift, you know, or like you have to talk to somebody that knows them. And so like by the end of the Secret Santa, you end up knowing a little too much about about each other because you're like, oh damn, I had to go to like Ulta to get somebody something, you know, which is funny.
It being my first year in yearbook and the fact that I only knew like 2 people, and now I joke around with Maria, who I was scared of at first, Isaac, who I was scared of at first, Diego, who's probably scared of me at first. Like, it really is kind of like a family with Escobar being like, I think it wouldn't be possible if Escobar was different because his room is like most definitely a safe space.
So you guys are all seniors. This is your last year here at MHS. When you're flipping through your copy of the yearbook in, let's say, 10 years, what is one thing that's going to hit you and be like, I really miss yearbook from that year?
I think it'll be the cover. I think like a lot of the inspo for the cover was like stuff that I loved to begin with. And so like for other people to like it in your book was like really cool. And then, yeah, I think the photography, like I have never seen the Polaroid scans or any use of like real Polaroids at other schools. So that's going to be my favorite. Yeah. I also like how, I mean, Escobar jokes around how like we'll get a bad Polaroid, but we'll still include it in the book just because it's like perfectly imperfect in that way. So that's probably going to be my favorite. We weren't trying to be perfect when making it. It was just like this organic thing that happened, I guess.
I agree. That's one of the things I like about this book. It's that it's just like capturing like everything that happens, not necessarily it being perfect or picturesque.
I think what I'm gonna look back at the most is the collages.
So looking back at this year, Escobar has a lot of one-liners. What would you say is your favorite one-liner from this year?
Somebody was trying to give a presentation, and he told me to sit down, and he did it with his like sassy voice. He was like, "Sit down." I was like, damn. I was like, he ain't never done that before, but yeah. That's a good one. I don't really know because he's so random.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
I don't think I can like recall any.
Some days he'll like walk in real jokey, and then some other days he's low key serious, and it ends up being funny because of how serious he is.
I feel like you can tell what mood he's in depending on the music that's playing. Like you can walk in and it's like new order, and you're like, okay, we're gonna get some work, and then the next day it's like 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, you're like, oh, he's here to talk about 9 Inch Nails.
I can't think of any I can say.
Oh, one thing when you were like, what's something about your book that a lot of people don't know? I would have said the group chat. I feel like,
yes,
yeah,
like,
something
yeah.
about the group chat. Like, okay, low key, some people don't talk a lot in it.
A
Like,
lot
I
of
think they're
people don't talk a
observers.
lot.
Yeah, they're like they definitely just like messages, but I think it ends up being this like really funny thing. Me and Maria, like early in the year, were like sending memes in the chat just to like get people to like realize like, hey, let the emails be for business. Let the
No,
Instagram.
even the emails. I remember my first email was like "Hello Minions" or something like that.
Yeah, like just to let it be cool, and then like it doesn't have to be this like awkward thing of just like
Yeah.
announcements. Like now, it'll literally be like 11 o'clock at night, and somebody will send a picture of Johnny,
Yeah.
and they're like, and then everyone will be like, "Go to bed. We have Zoom tomorrow." So yeah, it's definitely this funny thing. I think we're always changing the themes on Instagram.
Yeah.
The profile picture is always a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I remember the switch from it being from like professional to funny was after one football game when we threw the powder and we're just sending pictures of all of us like covered
Yeah.
in powder.
Oh yeah, it was like a live feed of like everybody's perspective, which is honestly pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, and then that's where I would take photos. So
Yeah.
it was cool.
So when you look back at all your Ollie Zox episodes from this year, what's your favorite intro?
My favorite intro has to be the dance one. Cause like it was stressful because Kevin's the type of person like if he has an idea, he wants to do it. And I'm kind of like whatever is in front of me, like we'll just do it. So like us practicing, it didn't take that long. It was like 2 days. But like we had to cut some of the dance out. And then at first we were filming it with Isaac and he wasn't moving the camera as much.
No, yeah.
So then we had to switch it to like filming it on Instagram so that the camera moves. But like, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin was definitely like Bradley Cooper that day. He was like directing and acting in it. He was like, you gotta move the camera this way. I was like, you gotta get that like weird Instagram shake. And I was like, okay. Yeah, and it worked out cool because like it ended up being like I think the exact vision that you wanted.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I think that's like the best part of yearbook, in general. Just like these ideas come to fruition and then like they're not sold short at all. You know, like I'll be like, hey, let's take a couple Polaroids, and then suddenly we have like 100+ Polaroids, and it's like that's definitely the coolest part.
Also, real quick, we do not fake all these Ogs videos.
Yeah, no.
True.
Yeah, nah.
Literally, they caught me off guard. I had to, dude. Horrible. It was a morning. Like,
We
damn.
probably have an hour footage of people being like, no, I'm not listening to anything. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Or I feel like I've seen a lot of or like Kevin will tell me a lot of clips of like really bad songs where he's
we
like,
just
I don't think we can have this. Just like whether it be like the words or just like the taste.
Fred's first song.
I don't even know what it was.
I can't say.
Do you have a favorite like positive Ollie Zox interview
Interview?
or like a walk up?
I don't know exactly, but like when we're walking out, you can tell some people look happy for us to talk to. Like we'll be walking by and then someone sees us, puts on headphones, and then doubles back, and that's like okay, that's cool. Like you want to like be a part of student,
I've definitely seen some kids like grim or like smile as you're walking.
or they
up to them,
frown
and
when
they're
they
like-
walk when we
they're
walk
like,
past
yeah.
them.
Yeah, they frantically like search for the perfect song. They're like Frank Ocean. Yeah, that's one of those kids.
Wait, I have a question for you guys. Wait, did you ever make pages? Like,
No.
well,
Yeah.
when you're like have a lot of yearbook work to do you listen to like a certain type of music to get yourself in the mood of just like I need to finish this, and if I don't, like I'm dying?
You know, that's actually funny because the last page of the yearbook is the editors and advisors note. And something that I added this year was I asked Isaac and Escobar, what's like one song that motivated you throughout the year to make your pages? And it's in there. So once you get your copy, look in the
yeah.
back of the last page.
Okay, I didn't see it that way.
What?
I just put a song like I put it like that song as like a senior quote. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
really?
I didn't really see it as this like yearbook thing.
Well, I told you.
No. Well, either way, I mean, yeah, definitely like when it comes to like when I edit photos, a lot of Apex Twin just because like it gets me in like
Oh,
this
yeah.
weird
Yeah.
zone. Yeah, because dude, there's been when like I'll do like back-to-back photo shoots or like I'll go to like a bunch of different sports. There was definitely like 6-hour like Sundays where I was like taking breaks and then coming back to editing, and it was Apex Twin that kept me alive.
What about you? Did you have any songs? I know you
Yeah.
made pages.
Okay. Well, I mean, I did a lot of my work in class. So I wasn't really listening to music, but when I would listen to music, it's probably like I'd probably throw on like some Succession or something, get me in that
yeah.
signal
that's
grind
true.
scene.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Succession.
Or the Interstellar score.
No, I'd start
Yeah.
crying. I'm like, let's go back, Murph.
Did you guys hide any like Easter eggs in the book? Like something personal
There's a
to you?
lot of photos with Duarte. No, I was kidding. I don't know. I don't think we did. I mean, I think everybody has their own little personal touch when it comes to the photos. Like one of our biggest rules is like not to be biased, but it's hard when you're like, yeah, my friend looks better than this random person. But then, yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I don't know if we have any like really specific ones. We should though.
Because I feel like we didn't really have space to add like Easter eggs, to be honest.
Yeah, I think last year we were lacking on photos. This year, I think feels like a lot of the opposite when it comes to certain pages.
Too.
Yeah, there's more events this year. Like this year, it wasn't like, oh, we have to do this Spear Week or this like page or this event has to be covered. We had a bunch of options of like every event that happened. So it's been pretty cool.
And then another hard thing was that we had a lot of pictures, but a lot of it was of the same people.
Yeah.
And it would suck if you like buy a yearbook and you're not in it. So this year I could say that like we have a lot of pictures of a lot of different people, and that's really good.
Yeah.
So you guys fought really hard to make sure you captured the diversity of the school and you included everybody.
Oh yeah, no, we would take
totally.
pictures of like people that did not want their pictures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was definitely some like Fuchi faces that I got. No, literally, like there was football games where like I'd go up to somebody and they just like side eye me, and I'm like, what the heck, bro? Like, I'm in yearbook. Like, just let me take your photo, But yeah, we definitely got them like zoomed in when they didn't realize their photo was being taken. It sounds weird.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
So I took a picture.
So in terms of yearbook events for the club, do you have a favorite that we did this year?
Like outside or inside?
Outside.
Our auction. I really like that. Yep. And this isn't really an event, but the display case, I think it's the best one we've ever had. Yep.
That's my baby.
Yeah, I mean, literally the security guards, like Johnny was putting up photos and the security guard was like, when kids drink water here, like they literally stop here for like 5 minutes. I have to tell them to stop looking at the photos because they like start, seeing how many we took. And it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of different ones. We like Johnny went to like how many sports? Like probably like 5, 6, 7 sports.
Yeah.
Probably more. So like even if we didn't take one of you like during the school, we definitely try to get you like at sporting events or at other events. So yeah.
And it's cool how it started out with only like the Polaroids of us, and then I asked Escobar like, oh, like let's take it to a football game or let's take it out. So
now we're returning members. You guys aren't, right? Yeah, neither of you guys. So if anybody's watched The Office, you know that Michael Scott, the leader of the office, or like the office manager, what is it?
Yeah.
Branch manager. Yeah, the branch manager, Michael Scott. He does these like awards. Some of them are really funny. For the show, they're taken seriously, but for us, we make them funny. And so at the end of every year during our banquet, like last year, I was always all over the place, and I got always on task, or most likely to be on task, or something like that. And then some of them are actually really nice, and like they're meant to be compliments, and
yeah, like I, for example, for my work in the fashion page and basically like shaping my entire section, I got best aesthetic design. So like,
there you go.
Yeah,
some of them we tried. I like the funny ones. Yeah, but some people do really deserve the compliments. So yeah, that's also another fun one.
There's something that we haven't talked about. Isaac's laugh.
Oh
Hearing
my God.
that at
Oh
like
my
7:30 in the morning, like lifts
Bro.
my soul. Like I get
Okay.
out of bed and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna say something funny.
The Amadeus
laugh.
Yeah, so dude, low key, I think my mom has been like my family has always told me that my laugh is like a little contagious, but like after the third time it gets a little annoying. But yeah, I don't know. I just laugh. I end up barking though because I think I get really excited. I'm like a dog, It's like,
and you hit people when you laugh.
bro,
You're like,
I just get aggressive. I'm like, that was funny, But I mean, I don't know. It's funny. There's definitely some people in your book that like really hate my laugh at 7:30 in the morning. Maybe like after 12.
The people that do have like deadlines and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those that don't know, everybody in your book has deadlines if they're doing pages. But this year, because we're so photography focused, especially with me, I didn't end up doing any. And so I had deadlines in terms of like getting people photos, but there wasn't any like really hard deadlines where it was like, if I don't have this submitted by this time, I'm screwed. Yeah. So a lot of people relied on me. I still had like stress of people in my DMs like, hey, I need this photo by 10 o'clock tomorrow. But yeah.
Are you guys like the type to work all period or just like work the night before the deadline and like produce a masterpiece?
No, it's low-key, yeah. But no, it's like there's so much people that like I mess with in yearbook, which is like all of them. Like I could walk to any corner and I'll have a conversation.
Yeah.
That like even if I try my hardest, I won't get nothing done. So I'll just go home and do it. Cause like if I'm doing work and I look next to me and Kevin's smirking at me, and I look to the right and the Escobar is like hitting himself on his desk, like I can't concentrate. But I mean, the work is done. Or like if you're in yearbook, you're never hungry because like
that's
there's
right,
always
that's
Oh
food.
yeah. No, literally 7:30 in the morning, we're all munching on like a Jack in the Box taco. somehow.
Or like some random Trader Joe's snack that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Or some cheese. Our yearbook application process. So first, we send out applications through email in like March, like late February, early March. Once that's done, we interview all of the returners so we can know who to place in leadership, because that's one of the important things, to have people lead. The people who lead be like experienced. Then once that's done, we interview the rest of the people. And then yeah, it's just like we have the upperclassmen decide who they want to have, who they don't maybe want to have, who they want to waitlist, and stuff like that.
So when can we buy this yearbook? When does it come out?
So for seniors, you will be able to pick up your yearbook probably by senior barbecue.
Yeah, so if you're a senior and you didn't know, every year there's a senior barbecue, and it's usually, I'd say, 2 to 3 weeks before school ends. And that's when seniors will get it, and then usually it's usually on like a Thursday or Friday, and that week after is when everybody else will be able to receive it. So if you pre-ordered it, you'll be able to pick it up with your receipt or your name, and if you haven't, you can come in and buy it in cash or check.
Yep.
I think at this point, yeah, we can take check.
Both.
No Zelle.
So looking back now that you're nearing the end of your yearbook journey, what is one word of advice you would have for future members?
Be confident. Be confident in your ability. Just because you feel like you're starting off and it's not as good as what you see, or you might think that, don't be your own like harshest critic.
I'd say like raise the stakes when it comes to what yearbook can be and what it does. I think like it's safe to say that Montebello is not a extremely like creative place, and so I feel like every program here has this like huge potential to grow, including yearbook, and so yeah, like the sky's the limit, and people like Escobar and all these other like great teachers, they'll support us, and like don't doubt your idea, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, just try anything, because at that point,
Yeah.
one of it has to work. And if it doesn't, then that's just a lesson for the next thing.
Thank you guys so much for coming and doing this special look at the yearbook and letting us know what it's all about.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
You do.
Combo Club.